A week ago last Friday, there was a press conference held in the White House, and the press secretary, Josh Earnest, said that, he refused to answer a question as to whether the Obama administration would be imposing sanctions on Israel for the settlements, both in the West Bank, that is Judea and Samaria, and in East Jerusalem. He refused to entertain the question. But the issue was out there, the question had been raised, and over the weekend there were several congressmen who replied by letter demanding clarification with regard to this. I mentioned this because I covered this in the Spot Report last week, and it was my hope and prayer that our nation would not impose sanctions. It would work to our peril. History gives us precedent to believe that there is a devastating determination that comes against those who come against Israel and the Jewish people. I'm always pleased to hear from what our readers and our viewers are thinking concerning this, but I want to respond to one particular one that came from Juanita. Juanita said this: "What needs to be understood is a growing number of United States citizens believe Israeli settlement building in Palestine is a war crime under international law. So if the president is, quote, considering sanctions, I would say it's because of this. As president, it is his job to represent and act upon, if possible, the voice of the citizenry of the United States." Now, to Juanita's response, I would give this threefold response. Number one, there is no such nation state as Palestine. It does not exist. It's never existed. Palestine is the name that was given to Israel and the Jewish people, the region where the Jewish people lived, by the Romans. It's the Romanization of the term Philistine. It was given to Israel and the Jewish people as a slap in the face to humiliate them. But it's always been just a geographical area, a region, never a nation state. It was a geographical area under the Ottoman Empire and certainly under the British Mandate period after the First World War, until Israel declared itself a nation in 1948. Number two, there is no such thing as a Palestinian people. That is a creation of the serial mass murderer Yasser Arafat in the 1960s. These are Arabs. They speak Arabic. Their religion is Islam. And some of them have been there for a long time. That does not allow them to inherit the promises. They do not thereby receive the promises made to Abraham and his descendants to have this as a homeland. So there's no nation state called Palestine, never has been. There's no Palestinian people. These are Arabs just out of the region there. And then thirdly, Juanita refers to the voice of the citizenry of the United States. Well, the voice of the citizenry of the United States has been declared by several congressmen. As a matter of fact, Congressman Pete Olson, Republican from Texas, condemned the reports that President Obama is considering sanctions on America's close friend and ally, namely Israel. This flies in the face of 67 years as staunch allies and is deeply troubling at a time when President Obama is urging an easing of sanctions against a hostile Iran with nuclear aspirations. It is unfathomable that we would turn our back on such a close ally under constant attack like Israel. I strongly oppose any such action and demand President Obama to reconsider and renew our nation's strong support of our people, of our friend, and the only existing democracy in the Middle East, namely Israel. Congressman Olson was joined by Congressman Mark Meadows, Republican from North Carolina, and 46 others, 48 total, 46 other House colleagues, in sending a letter to President Obama demanding clarification on recent reports indicating the administration is considering imposing sanctions against Israel for constructing homes in East Jerusalem. I was taken by what Prime Minister Netanyahu said about settlements in East Jerusalem. He said this: Jerusalem is not a settlement. And he's absolutely right. This is land, a part of the land mass that has been given by covenant promise. This is the promised land. Promised to who? Promised to Israel and the Jewish people. Promised by whom? By the God of Israel. Isaiah speaks of this in Isaiah chapter 49, verse 15 says, Can a mother forget the baby at her breast, nursing at her breast, and have no compassion on the child that she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I've engraved you on the palms of my hands. Your walls, O Jerusalem, are ever before me. That's what God says about Jerusalem. He says through the psalmist in Psalm 137, verse 5 and 6, If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget its skill. Let my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth if I do not remember you. If I do not consider Jerusalem, my highest joy. Not a settlement, but the highest joy of Yahweh of Israel. Now this is the word of God. This is the word of Yahweh, the God of Israel. This is not the word of Allah, the God of Islam. Till next week, Od Ki Yavo Shiloh, until Messiah comes, Yivareka Yahweh. God bless you. God bless yours.